Before the sun rises and before the world asks anything from you, there is a moment that can change everything. A moment when your mind is clear, your body is still, and your future is wide open. This moment is where strength begins. This moment is where a person decides who they want to be. Many people sleep through this turning point, unaware that the first minutes of the morning decide the quality of their entire day. But the person who chooses to rise early steps into a level of control that most never experience. The early hour holds a kind of power that builds discipline, confidence, and direction in a way no other part of the day can offer. This video is created to wake that power inside you. If you are tired of feeling scattered, tired of feeling unfocused, tired of feeling like the day controls you instead of you controlling the day, then this moment is for you. These words are designed to push you forward, to shake off the weight of yesterday, and to help you recognize the strength you have been carrying all along. You will feel your focus sharpen. You will feel your energy rise. You will feel a steady determination take hold. Morning routines do not just improve habits. They reshape character. They strengthen the mind. They prepare the heart. They elevate the entire day. Right now, you stand at the start of a new beginning. The world is quiet and the path in front of you is clear. This introduction is not just an opening. It is a call to rise with purpose, to take ownership of your day, and to build a life that reflects the effort, discipline, and courage you know you have within you. Stay with every word because this moment has the power to shift everything that comes next. Part 1, rise before the sun. Before anything else in the world starts moving, there is a quiet moment that many people never notice. It is the early hour when the sky is still dim, the air feels fresh, and the day has not yet made any demands. Waking up before the sun gives a person something rare. It gives space to think clearly without pressure, without noise, and without anyone pulling at attention. In that early stillness, a person can feel the soft rhythm of their own breath, hear the simple sounds around them, and sense the steady beat of their own drive. Those early minutes set the tone for everything that follows because they allow the mind to settle before the world gets loud. Rising early is not about following a rule or trying to impress anyone. It is about giving the day a strong start before distractions flood in. When the body wakes early and the mind wakes with purpose, energy begins to build instead of scatter. Waking before the sun may feel unusual in the beginning, but with time, it becomes something a person actually looks forward to. It creates a kind of calm that cannot be felt once the rush begins. In that early hour, the air even smells cleaner. The body notices it. The mind notices it. There is freedom to breathe without hurry, to stretch without anyone calling the phone, and to look around without the pressure of plans. These small physical sensations matter. The warmth of a cup of water or tea in the hands, the feel of cool floor under the feet, the movement of the chest as it rises and falls in steady breaths, these are not dramatic moments, but they bring the mind back into the present. When the day starts in a present state, it becomes easier to move through the rest of the hours with intention instead of rushing from one thing to the next. Rising early also creates a strong sense of control. Many people move through their days reacting to whatever appears, and that constant reaction leaves them tired by midday. Starting early changes that. The person who wakes before the sun is no longer reacting. They are choosing the direction. They are deciding the pace. They are shaping the day instead of being shaped by the day. It feels good to take ownership like that because it gives a steady confidence that carries into every task. Small choices build strong habits, and strong habits build strong days. The first choice of the day, getting up early, sets the foundation. The mind learns that discipline creates calm. The body learns that these lessons stack up day after day, until the person becomes stronger on the inside and more stable in their thinking. There is also something deeply encouraging about knowing that while others are still asleep, you are already building the day. It is not about competition. It is about pride. Early hours demand responsibility, and responsibility builds character. When a person consistently rises early, it shows that they can trust themselves. That trust matters. It removes doubt. It builds self-respect. Self-respect leads to better decisions because a person who respects themselves does not waste time, does not drift without direction, and does not fall for excuses. Early rising becomes a promise kept, and each promise kept strengthens that inner sense of reliability. The early hour also gives time to notice the smallest details that often go unseen. The quiet way the sky brightens inch by inch, the cool air brushing across the skin, the slow warming of the room as the minutes pass. These details seem simple, but they bring the mind into a calm focus that stays throughout the day. Even the act of standing at the window and taking a slow breath while the world is still dark has a grounding effect. It reminds the mind that there is space between night and day, and in that space there is room to reset, adjust, and prepare. With consistency, waking up early becomes more than a habit. It becomes a personal anchor. On difficult days, it becomes a steady point that keeps the person from drifting. On busy days, it becomes a moment of clarity before movement begins. On overwhelming days, it becomes a source of strength that keeps the mind steady. And the mind begins to look forward to the silence, because silence creates room for clear thought. Clear thought leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to better results. Rising before the sun also influences emotional stability. Those early minutes offer time to notice how the body feels, how the mind feels, and what the heart is carrying. Instead of rushing forward without awareness, the person can acknowledge their emotions, adjust their attitude, and prepare themselves. Emotional awareness in the morning reduces emotional stress later in the day. When the morning begins calm, the rest of the day carries that calm with it. People who start early often find that they respond to challenges with more patience, not because the challenges are smaller, but because their own center is stronger. It is important to understand that waking up early is not about perfection. It is about intention. Sometimes the body feels tired. Sometimes the night was long. Sometimes life brings its challenges. But building the routine of early rising teaches resilience. Even on hard days, the mind remembers that it has the ability to rise, adjust, and move forward. This resilience becomes part of the personality. It turns ordinary mornings into purposeful beginnings. Rising early also helps a person feel proud of their own effort. When the day ends, they can look back and know they started from a position of strength. That feeling of accomplishment grows stronger each day. It fuels confidence. It encourages bigger goals. It builds a life that is shaped by steady decisions instead of random circumstances. People notice this change from the outside too. They see the increased focus, the calm presence, the improved attitude. These changes begin in the early hour. They begin when the person chooses to rise before the sun and start the day on their own terms. Once early rising becomes a natural part of life, everything else starts to align more easily. The day feels smoother. Tasks feel more manageable. Time feels more abundant. The mind becomes clearer. The body becomes steadier, becomes lighter. All these changes begin with one simple but powerful choice: to wake before the sun and start the day with intention, clarity, and personal strength. Part 2, the power of a morning routine. The morning routine holds a kind of steady power that many people overlook, not because it is complicated, but because it is simple. A routine built with care gives shape to the entire day. It becomes a quiet system that steadies the mind, strengthens the body, and clears away mental clutter before it has the chance to build. When a person wakes early and moves into a routine with purpose, the first moments of the day feel organized instead of chaotic. That sense of order does not come from force. It comes from consistency, and the body responds to consistency with calm energy. When the mind knows what will happen next, it relaxes. And when the mind relaxes, focus naturally increases. In the early hours, the world is still soft. The noise is low. The mind has not yet absorbed anyone else's opinions, problems, or demands. A good morning routine takes advantage of that quiet space. It gently guides the mind from rest into action. It allows the body to wake at a steady pace. Instead of rushing from the bed into a busy list of tasks, the routine eases the person into responsibility. This creates a feeling of control, and that feeling can shape the entire day. Many people underestimate how much influence the first hour has on the next 12. A scattered start creates a scattered day. A steady start creates a steady day. The routine becomes a kind of anchor that prevents the person from drifting into stress or frustration. A strong morning routine does not have to be complex. It only needs to be consistent. Even simple actions can create deep impact when done with intention. Washing the face with cool water, standing near a window and taking a slow breath, stretching the arms to release stiffness, these are not dramatic actions, but they activate the body. They send clear signals that the day has begun. The physical sensations matter. The coolness of water against the skin wakes the senses. The feeling of the floor under the feet provides grounding. The stretch in the muscles releases tension left over from sleep. These small details shape a person's mood, and mood shapes behavior. A morning routine also builds self-discipline in a quiet, steady way. Each action completed in the early hour becomes a small promise kept. The more promises a person keeps with themselves, the stronger their character becomes. That strength does not appear in loud ways. It shows up in calm decision-making, in patience, in the ability to stick with goals even when motivation fades. Discipline grows from the inside out, and the morning routine is where that growth often begins. When the mind starts the day by following a plan, it feels more prepared to take on larger responsibilities. It becomes less reactive. There is a noticeable difference in how the mind feels after completing even a short routine. Thoughts become clearer. The internal chatter quiets. There is a sense of direction instead of confusion. A person feels ready instead of rushed. This readiness affects how they speak to others, how they handle problems, and how they use their energy. People often talk about wanting more motivation, but motivation cannot grow in a cluttered environment. The morning routine clears that environment. It opens space for motivation to rise naturally. It gives the mind room to focus on what matters instead of drowning in unnecessary noise. Another strength of a morning routine is the emotional stability it creates. When people wake and immediately rush into tasks, their emotions are often unsettled. They may feel tense or irritable without understanding why. A routine slows everything down. It gives time to notice how the heart feels before the world asks for energy. It becomes easier to understand personal emotions, easier to calm the mind, and easier to shape the attitude that will carry through the day. Emotional awareness in the morning often prevents emotional exhaustion later on. When the day starts from a grounded place, challenges feel smaller and solutions feel clearer. The morning routine also builds not the loud kind of confidence that demands attention, but the steady kind that feels like inner stability. When a person follows a routine day after day, they begin to trust their own discipline. That trust becomes a powerful source of self-respect. Self-respect leads to better choices. When a person respects themselves, they do not waste hours on habits that drain their energy. They do not fall for distractions. They do not allow the day to slip out of their hands. They hold themselves to a higher standard, not because anyone is watching, but because they know their potential deserves it. Another important effect of a morning routine is the sense of momentum it creates. Each completed action pushes the mind forward. Each small accomplishment builds a feeling of progress. By the time the routine ends, the person already feels productive. That feeling carries into their work, their conversations, and their goals. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. Once it starts, it becomes easier to maintain. A well-built routine creates momentum every single morning, and that momentum shapes the entire day with stronger energy and clearer thought. There's also something deeply personal about having a routine that belongs only to the individual. It is a moment of ownership. Nobody can take it away. Nobody can interrupt it if the person is consistent. It becomes a private space where growth happens quietly, where improvements build slowly, where confidence strengthens without any need for recognition. Over time, that private space becomes essential. It becomes a source of peace, direction, and confidence. The true power of a morning routine is not in the tasks themselves. It is in what those tasks build inside the person. They build clarity, they build discipline, they build emotional stability. They build a sense of control, they build peace, they build confidence, and they build momentum. These qualities influence everything a person does throughout the day. They change the way they speak, the way they think, the way they work, and the way they treat themselves. A morning routine becomes a form of daily investment. The person gives time, attention, and effort to their own well-being, and in return, the day becomes smoother, more productive, and more meaningful. That is the quiet power of morning structure. It shapes the mind before the world can shape it. It strengthens the person before challenges appear. It prepares the heart to handle whatever the day brings. And with time, it transforms ordinary mornings into powerful beginnings that move life in a better direction. Part 3. Set clear intentions for your day. Clear intentions shape the direction of a day in a way few people truly understand. Most individuals wake up, move from one task to another, and hope the day works in their favor. But a person who starts the morning by deciding what matters most gives themselves an enormous advantage. Intention is not pressure. Intention is a quiet reminder of what deserves your focus. It guides the mind toward choices that support growth instead of choices that drain energy. When intentions are set with calm clarity, the day becomes less about reacting and more about moving with purpose. The moment a person sits down, breathes, and thinks about the direction they want for the day, the mind begins to settle. There is no rush in this process. It can be as simple as taking a slow breath and acknowledging what needs attention. The gentle awareness of where your energy should go changes how the next hours unfold. The mind becomes less scattered. Thoughts feel more organized. Even the body responds, relaxing tension that builds when the plan is unclear. Instead of stepping into the day with uncertainty, the person steps forward knowing what they want to accomplish, how they want to feel, and what they refuse to waste time on. Setting intentions also protects the mind from needless stress. Without a clear direction, every interruption feels bigger. Every problem feels heavier. Every distraction feels tempting. But once the intention is set, distractions lose their power. The mind recognizes them for what they are, small moments that do not deserve attention. This inner awareness creates a strong sense of control. A person who knows where they are going does not get pulled away by every noise. They move with steadiness, knowing that staying on track will reward them in the end. Clear intentions also strengthen discipline. When the day has direction, sticking to good habits becomes easier. There is no guessing. The mind already knows what matters. This makes the person more consistent, and consistency creates results. Many people wish for progress, but fail to give their day a clear path. Setting intentions fills that gap. It turns vague ideas into a personal promise. That promise becomes a kind of quiet fuel that pushes a person forward even when the energy dips. Discipline becomes less about force and more about commitment to the direction chosen in the morning. The emotional impact of intention setting is just as powerful. When a person pauses to decide the kind of attitude they want to carry, the entire day feels lighter. If the goal is patience, the mind becomes more aware of moments that test that patience. If the focus is kindness, interactions become softer and more thoughtful. If the aim is productivity, the person becomes less likely to waste hours. Emotions become more manageable because the mind has already set the tone. This awareness brings a sense of inner peace, even when the day becomes demanding. It becomes easier to breathe through stress because the intention serves as a reminder of what truly matters. Clear intentions also help a person avoid feeling overwhelmed. Many people pile too many expectations on themselves without taking a moment to understand their limits. Setting intentions encourages honesty. It helps the mind recognize what can be done today and what can wait without guilt. This prevents burnout. It allows the person to focus deeply instead of rushing through tasks with scattered attention. When the mind has direction, it works more smoothly, the work feels cleaner, and progress feels more satisfying. This sense of fulfillment builds confidence, and confidence fuels more progress. The internal strength that grows from intention setting becomes noticeable in daily behavior. A person begins to speak with more clarity because their thoughts are clearer. They handle problems with more calm because they know those problems are only small parts of a bigger picture. They use their energy more wisely because they understand that every choice influences the path they set in the morning. This shift does not happen overnight, but with consistency, it becomes natural. The physical environment also supports clearer intentions when used carefully. Sitting in a quiet room, feeling the coolness of the air, and observing the steady rhythm of breathing creates a space where intention feels more real. The body relaxes and the mind becomes more open. Even the sound of the morning, whether it is soft, still air, or distant movement from outside, can help create focus. These sensory details ground the mind in the present moment. When a person is fully present, intention becomes stronger. It becomes something that shapes behavior rather than something that fades by midday. Over time, setting intentions turns into a personal ritual that guides long-term growth. Daily intentions create weekly progress. Weekly progress turns into monthly improvement. Monthly improvement becomes yearly transformation. The results build slowly but steadily. A person begins to notice that they speak more thoughtfully, work more efficiently, and handle hardship with more strength. The daily act of choosing a direction gives them a sense of power they might not have known before. It becomes clear that small decisions made consistently can create extraordinary changes. There is also a psychological shift that happens when intention becomes a part of life. The mind begins to value clarity. It becomes uncomfortable with drifting through the day without purpose. This discomfort is not negative. It is a sign of growth. It means the person has raised their standards. They expect more from themselves. They hold themselves to a higher level of awareness. This new mindset influences every part of life: work, relationships, self-care, personal goals. That simple act of deciding the day's direction begins to shape character in profound ways. Setting clear intentions each morning also reduces regret. Many people end their day feeling frustrated because they know they wasted time. But a person who begins the day with clarity rarely experiences that frustration. Their actions throughout the day connect back to the morning intention. At night, instead of feeling drained and disappointed, they feel fulfilled. They know their time was used wisely. That satisfaction becomes motivation for the next day. The cycle repeats, strengthening the foundation of personal growth. The beauty of intention setting is how accessible it is. It does not require special tools or complicated practices. It only requires awareness. It requires a moment of honesty. It requires a willingness to direct the mind instead of letting the world do it. That simple choice, made in quiet morning, has the power to change everything. It creates focus where there was confusion. It builds strength where there was hesitation. It brings purpose to hours that would otherwise slip away unnoticed. Clear intentions transform ordinary mornings into opportunities for growth. They shape behavior, strengthen discipline, calm emotions, and create a sense of meaning in everyday life. They open the door to better decisions, deeper focus, and stronger character. And as the days accumulate, intention becomes more than a morning practice. It becomes a way of living that brings clarity, stability, and lasting progress. Part 4, fuel your mind and body. Energy in the morning shapes everything that follows. And the way a person fuels the mind and body during those early hours determines the strength they carry through the entire day. The morning is not just a time to wake up. It is a time to refill the inner tank with the right thoughts, the right nutrients, and the right attitude. When the mind and body receive strong fuel at the start, challenges feel lighter, decisions feel clearer, and the day moves with a different kind of flow. Most people underestimate how much their morning choices affect their mood, their focus, and even their confidence. But those who build the habit of feeding themselves well, inside and out, discover a level of stability that can't be created any other way. The body wakes with needs that must be respected. After hours of sleep, it craves hydration, gentle movement, and nourishment. A simple glass of water in the morning brings the body back to life more than most people realize. The cool temperature wakes the senses, the fluid eases stiffness, the stomach feels calmer, the mind sharpens. Even something so small carries a noticeable impact. The moment the body receives water, a wave of energy begins to move through it. Muscles loosen, breathing becomes smoother. Focus. This is the first step in fueling the body, and it creates a physical shift that prepares the person for the day ahead. Movement in the morning adds another layer of fuel. It does not need to be intense or complicated. Even slow stretching, simple breathing exercises, or a brief walk can awaken the muscles and open the lungs. Movement brings warmth into the body. It releases the heaviness left over from sleep. It increases circulation, which delivers more oxygen to the brain. And when the brain receives more oxygen, thoughts become clearer and more organized. People who move their body in the morning often notice they think faster, remember better, and speak with more clarity. The body and mind work together, and when one is activated, the other follows. This connection is powerful. It sets up a person for stronger productivity, better emotional balance, and a more positive attitude throughout the day. Nourishment is another essential part of fueling the body. Many people skip food in the morning or choose something that offers little energy. But the body performs best when it receives nutrients that support focus, stamina, and mood. A balanced morning meal does not need to be large. It only needs to be thoughtful. Fresh fruits, whole grains, clean sources of protein, foods that give steady energy instead of sudden spikes and drops. When the body is filled with clean fuel, it becomes easier to stay concentrated, impressibility decreases, cravings fade, decision-making improves. The day simply feels smoother because the body is operating at full capacity instead of running on empty. The energy from the morning meal becomes the foundation on which the rest of the day is built. Fueling the mind is just as important as fueling the body. The thoughts a person absorbs in the morning can either lift their spirit or weigh it down. If the first voices heard are negative, the entire day bends toward that negativity. But if the first mental fuel is uplifting, strong, and steady, the day begins with a sense of possibility. The mind responds quickly to what it consumes. Reading a message of encouragement, listening to something educational, or spending a moment in silence with calm thoughts can transform the mood immediately. This is mental nourishment. It feeds the mind the same way food feeds the body. It shapes the mindset before the outside world tries to pull it in every direction. People often feel drained because they feed their mind with pressure before they feed it with strength. They look at problems, scroll through noise, or jump into stressful work before giving the mind a chance to stabilize. But when the morning begins with mental clarity, stress loses its power. The person becomes more grounded, more patient, and more confident. Their reactions change because their internal state is stronger. Fueling the mind means choosing what deserves attention in the early hour. It means creating a space where clarity can grow and distractions cannot enter. This mental preparation protects the person from being overwhelmed later on. Breathing is also a form of mental and physical fuel. Slow, deep breaths in the morning calm the nervous system and create a feeling of stability. Breathing affects everything: heart rate, focus, emotional balance. When a person breathes deeply, the body relaxes and the mind loosens its grip on stress. Even a few minutes of steady breathing can reset the entire system. This is not complicated. It is natural. The body is designed to respond to breath, and when the breath is steady, the mind follows. People who take time for slow breathing in the morning often find they approach challenges with more patience because their internal rhythm is controlled. Fueling the mind and body also reduces emotional reactivity. When the body is hydrated, fed, and moved, and the mind is filled with clarity, the person becomes less sensitive to small frustrations. They respond instead of react, they pause instead of snapping, they think before letting emotions take over. This kind of emotional strength does not come from willpower alone. It comes from preparing the body and mind early in the day. When the internal environment is strong, the external environment loses its ability to shake the person easily. Consistency is what makes this process powerful. Fueling the mind and body once creates a good morning. Fueling them every day creates a strong life. Over time, the person notices that they wake with more energy, work with more focus, and rest with more ease. Their attitude becomes more balanced, their confidence rises, their productivity grows. This transformation happens because the body and mind are supported from the moment the day begins. There is no need to wait for motivation to appear. It is built through daily choices. Fueling the mind and body is a form of self-respect. It sends a message that the day matters, the goals matter, and the person themselves matters. It reminds the individual that they deserve strength, clarity, and peace. And when a person believes they deserve better, they start choosing better. They start living with intention. They start carrying themselves with a new sense of confidence. All of this growth begins with simple morning decisions: hydration, movement, nourishment, calm thought, steady breath. When the mind and body are fueled properly at the start of the day, life becomes easier to navigate. Challenges feel manageable, opportunities feel exciting, work feels meaningful, the world feels less heavy. And inside, the person feels stronger, steadier, and more capable than before. Part 5, end the morning with gratitude. Gratitude in the morning carries a quiet power that can steady the entire day. When a person begins the day by noticing what is already good in their life, the mind shifts into a state of calm strength. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real challenges. It's about grounding the mind in a sense of stability before stepping into the noise of the world. Gratitude creates an inner balance that makes the day easier to handle. It softens tension, clears mental fog, and builds a sense of peace that lasts far longer than those first morning minutes. In the early hour, when the body is still waking and thoughts are gentle, gratitude fits naturally. The mind is more open, the heart is more receptive, and the world has not yet placed its weight on the shoulders. In that space, even simple things become meaningful. The comfort of a bed after a full night of rest, the fresh air moving through a room, the quiet atmosphere that gives space to breathe, these are the details many people overlook. But when acknowledged, they bring a sense of steadiness that flows into the rest of the day. Gratitude does not need dramatic moments to appear. It often grows from paying attention to the ordinary pieces of life that quietly support us. When a person practices morning gratitude, they begin to see their day with more clarity. The mind becomes less focused on what is missing and more aware of what is available. This shift matters because thinking shapes behavior. A mind grounded in appreciation handles stress differently. The same challenges that once felt heavy now feel manageable. The same problems that once caused frustration now feel smaller. Gratitude builds emotional resilience. It helps a person stay calm when life becomes difficult and steady when unexpected obstacles appear. There is also a strong physical connection to gratitude. When the mind focuses on appreciation, the body responds with ease. Shoulders loosen, breathing slows, tension releases from the stomach and chest. This relaxed state carries into the day. When a person enters their morning with this kind of internal calm, they communicate differently. Their voice becomes more steady. Their expressions soften. Their presence becomes more peaceful. This influences how others respond to them as well, creating smoother interactions and reducing unnecessary conflict. A powerful part of gratitude is how it strengthens identity. As a person notices the good in their life, they also begin to notice the strength within themselves. They become aware of the obstacles they've overcome, the growth they've made, the experiences that shaped them, and the people who supported them. This awareness builds confidence. It reminds the person that they have already handled many difficult things, and they have the capacity to handle more. This kind of confidence is quiet but deep. It does not shout. It does not need to. It comes from understanding one's own resilience. Gratitude, when the mind starts the day feeling thankful, it becomes easier to concentrate on positive goals instead of being trapped by negative thoughts. Distractions lose some of their pull. Stressful situations feel less threatening. The person becomes more future-focused rather than dwelling on past mistakes or regrets. This improved focus often leads to better work, better decisions, and better use of time. Productivity grows naturally because the mind is not weighed down by unnecessary emotional clutter. Many people talk about wanting a peaceful life, but peace does not appear by accident. It is built through habits that support emotional strength. Gratitude is one of those habits. It teaches the mind to pause before reacting. It reminds the person to notice what is going well. It reduces the urge to compare, compete, or complain. These changes add up. Over time, the person becomes someone who moves through the world with a softer heart and a sharper mind. As the day moves forward, remember that every morning choice shapes your life. Rising early, focusing your mind, fueling your body, and practicing gratitude builds strength, clarity, and purpose. Carry this energy into every action, and your days will change. Your future is created in these quiet moments, and the decision to start strong is already yours.